Unit 3, Learning Target 5a. I can factor out the greatest common factor, with emphasis on greatest common factor. So, real quick reminder, if we had something like 3x times 5x minus 2, we know we would distribute the 3x to each piece and get 15x squared minus 6x. What we're doing when we factor is we're taking this and we're working backwards. So we want to take something that looks like this, our answer, and make it look back like our original. So looking at example 1, we've got 12x to the third minus 2x squared. We know before, in this reminder example, we distributed by multiplying. So if we're going to work backwards, we need to factor by dividing. So looking at each of these pieces, looking at our numbers first, the greatest common factor, what goes into both 12 and 2? Well, 2 goes into both 12 and 2. Then looking at our x's, the first term has 3 x's, the second term has 2 x's. So together they both have at least 2 x's. So we can take out x squared. Whatever you take out goes in front of the parentheses, and then whatever's left over goes on the inside. So 12 divided by 2 is 6. If we had x to the third and we're taking out x squared, that leaves us with just 1x left. Then negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. X squared, taking away x squared, gives us no x's left. So this is our answer. The good thing about factoring is you can always check yourself. So if we took 2x squared and multiplied it by 6x minus 1, we would distribute to get 12x to the third minus 2x squared. And that's what we originally started with, so we know we did it right. Example 2. Again, we're looking at each piece. What can we take out of all 3 pieces in this case? Well, the first one doesn't have any numbers with it, so we're not going to be able to take out any numbers. Looking at all 3 pieces, we've got x to the fourth, x, and x to the third. So all of them have at least 1x. So we're just going to take out an x. Then we've got y squared, y to the third, y to the fourth. Each of them have at least 2 y's, so y squared. Whatever we're taking out goes out front. And then whatever we have left over goes in the parentheses. So we had x to the fourth. We took away 1x. So we've got x to the third. We had y squared, and we took away y squared, so those cancel. We didn't take out any numbers, so negative 3 just stays there. We had an x, and we took away an x. So no x's left. Y to the third took away y squared, so we just have a y left. The next piece, we've got a 5 because we didn't change our numbers. X to the third took away one of our x's, leaves us with x squared. Y to the fourth, take away 2 y's, gives us y squared. So this is what we get when we take out the greatest common factor. And again, we can check ourselves. So we've got xy squared times x to the third minus 3y plus 5x squared y squared. If we distribute to each piece, we'd get x to the fourth y squared minus 3xy to the third plus 5x to the third y to the fourth. And again, that's what we started with, so we must have done it correctly. Example 3. Most people look at this and the first thing they think for their numbers is, oh, you could take out 2, and that's where the emphasis on greatest common factor comes in, because we can actually take out 4 from each piece. Now, I'm seeing that that front number is negative, and I know that when we get to the next part of factoring, it's going to be easiest if that front number is positive. So since the front number is negative, I'm going to take out a -4 from each piece. So -4 goes on the outside. We can't take out any x's because this third piece doesn't have any x's. -8 divided by -4 is 2. We had x squared, we didn't take any away, so our x's don't change. -4 divided by -4 is +1. We had an x, didn't take any away, so we've got just one x. Then we've got +20 divided by -4 is -5. That is our answer. Check yourself. If you ever have time, it's always best to check yourself. If we distribute, we're going to get -8 x squared minus 4x plus 20. Again, that's what we started with, so we did it correctly. One last example. Looking at each piece, look at your numbers first. 3, 12, and 18. You can take 3 and divide it into all 3 of those numbers. Again, with your numbers, you're looking to see what goes into all numbers. Then our x's, we've got 3 x's in the first piece, we've got 2 x's in the second piece, and 1 x in the third piece. So each of them have at least 1 x. So your 3x goes up front. 3 divided by 3, that's 1. If we have x to the third and we take away an x, that's x squared. 12 divided by 3, 4. We had 2 x's, we took 1 away, so we just have 1 left. And the last piece, -18 divided by 3 is 6. We had an x, we took it away, so we don't have any left. Final answer, and we'll check ourselves just to make sure. So we're taking what we think it is, and we're going to check and see if we get back with what we started. 3x to the third plus 12 x squared minus 18x. Again, we got what we started with. We are correct. Greatest common factor is very important because it's always the very first thing you do. You'll see that on every single page of factoring. Take out the greatest common factor first.